Liyazi ukuthi akula ama-dissidents. Liyazi ukuthi akula ama-dissidents kani. Like lawabona lena qumbi omunye wena wabona. Like lawabona lokho ama-dissidents ni Thomas.
You tell me Gasela and Tambulinyoga hiding.
I don't know no Gasela or Tambulinyoga.
You have what the man said. Bring the rest of the dissident members here. Come on.
Move! Go, bitch! Go! Move!
Welcome to Balagwe, sons of bitches. Where we teach some doctrines to unbelievers to tell them to believers. Here, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that the mighty Shonas are kings. As for you, should I sit back, relax, and enjoy. And when you grow up, do tell your children that the mighty Shonas are running Zimbabwe. My disciples, let the church service begin. Thomas, where are the dissidents?
I feel like a dissident.
What are the dissidents meaning? What are the dissidents planning, Thomas?
Ningababulala kusukela abantu abangakwazi ukuyibeka. Abelibulala abantu babiza ngama-dissident. Nibe ngibona abantu ukufuna ukudebele.
Thomas, where is Gasela in Ndebele? Thomas, where is Gasela in Ndebele?
You are going to die in heaven. I'm going to die, I'm in heaven. They are not dissidents.
All right, Thomas. Manuel. Where are the dissidents?
They're running like headless chicken around Zimbabwe. Killing people. For what? For what? Yes, continue, kill us. Continue. It's over.
I cried and begged for mercy. But my cries landed on deaf ears. It was at that moment when I realized that no amount of crying or begging would mitigate my situation. Those bastards enjoyed every bit of it. And it fueled their fury. My people have been crying ever since. And we're dared to act or listen on their behalf. And for your interest, we are not looking for pity. Anyone can give pity. We are seeking justice. Hunger for the poor. Hunger for justice. Two forces that have successfully burned leaders. The power hungry are swift to violate human rights according to their sentences. And out of necessity, those who have risen to the occasion have quelled on the oppressor's hand. Does our situation not necessitate leaders of such caliber? Leaders who will go through the ends of the world in pursuit of justice. Leaders who will stand right in adversity and in privilege. Where are the young, brave men and women who will stand against oppression at all odds? Is grey hair still your source of wisdom? Or you glean from its lips words that paralyze you with fear? Those bastards wanted to break my spirit. But instead, they made me bold and fearless. My mother was one of the few fortunate ones who survived Balaka.
I was also one of the few who survived the Balaka. And if fortune was a place, then umlilo wasesibhobheni awuboni ehle kwinto ezazenzeka eBalaka. You know, for me, torture to be started and ended here. Nesibhazi umzimba wonke. Ngamaxheba aphakathi enhliziyweni. They killed my family in front of me. They tortured me, left me crippled, and almost lost my eyes. I cursed the man who saved me. I cursed the man who saved me and prolonged my misery. So it is not coming. They took everything from me. They took everything. I have nothing to offer. I have nothing anymore to offer.
They tortured me, and they told me that the struggle for South Africa is not for Zimbabwe. And then they let me go. I then crossed the Botswana border and crossed again to join Umkhonto with 6.
Their intention was to kill my mother. But instead, they brought her closer to the spiritual world. Ever since, she has been receiving messages from the departed spirits. Spirits who are in pursuit of justice for the victims of Ndebele. Akuzinyanele boyilahliwa ikwena. Kwaxolisisiba. Uloyiko lo. Ukuginya amagama. Ndife namthanyana sibe sona isizwe sitshabalala. Uloyiko ukuginya amagama. Ndife namthanyana sibe sona isizwe sitshabalala. Sibe sona isizwe sitshabalala.
Just a few minutes of Q&A between Abantu Basemthakazi and the people that have come to watch the show, between you guys and the actors. Just a few minutes. I would love to call out the actors on the back of stage and the director. Then we can ask few questions.
Gas.
So we are open for any questions from anyone that has come to the show. Any question that you think that you have? Yes, sir.
Hold on, everyone. That was great. So, from my perspective, this is like a very historically based play. I just wanted to know if any of you guys were aware of that history. I wasn't personally, for example. And if you went, did you have to go and research and understand what was happening? Any of you answer?
Okay. For me, when I was approached to getting to the play, the history I had to read and go to YouTube. I think the most source you get into YouTube under Asake by. So I don't remember the.
Ndebele.
Yes. Ndebele. Yes.
Site CITE.
Yes, for site. Yeah, you can write site. He gathered much information from different people who experienced Gukurahundi, more especially work on my advantage because the people he interviewed were people like the victims of Gukurahundi, and most of my characters were victims of Gukurahundi. So I went through reading, I went through like watching these things because they also provide readings and history of how was life in Zimbabwe back then before 1980 Zimbabwean elections. So I got the information there. That's where I got the information.
How am I safe as your audience now? Because there's no way that one of them in a record party or is in the country. How safe are you?
Hey, Baba, that is very But to be honest, throughout the years when we've been performing the production, we did receive trust, we did receive bribes, but with everything that you stand for, there might be that, there might be trust to help. So, but we just want to stand for the people of Ndebele. I think we're going to face the consequences later, but I think that the people that do have support, I don't lie, we do have support from people that are supporting us, not only financially, but they are really supporting us as the production. So we do have support in anything, we don't feel like afraid of anything, that maybe one of us will be in danger, I don't think so, but some can answer.
But I want to say that for me, tribalism is danger on its own. Yes. embracing that and attaching yourself to tribalism is danger, because these other ones attaching themselves to tribalism, we are attaching ourselves to tribalism. War is inevitable. What we're trying to show here, we're trying to show the people that the dangers of tribalism, whether it's glorifying nationalism, whether we're saying that's also tribalism, there's danger in that. There's danger when humans are isolating themselves and going into cliques. And we hope whether Shona, you come from another country, it does not matter. When you see danger, if a lion would walk up here, many people would run, they will not ask questions. But when it comes to psychological danger, people tend to be numb, they don't know what's going on. And we're showing, because like tribalism is a psychological danger, we're showing the danger of it. And we are in danger, and we need to wake up. So we're waking up the people. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yo. So, for the not generally but to answer the question now, yes, the story we are telling is very scary. And just to shock you before I tell you about Gukurahundi, I did not know about this history until I was invited to come and direct this show. And I had to go a great deal into the research and finding out what is Gukurahundi, what does it mean, what does it take. And apart from going to the YouTube space and doing research and watching a lot of documentaries that are there. So I'm one of the people who don't take things at face value. So what I did, I went to ask friends that I know who are from Zim, and one of them is right here. So she can tell you, I sent her countless messages asking about this. How do we tell the story from different perspectives, not just from the social media perspective or from the YouTube point of view. So from then I was like, okay, as scary as the show is, I will do it. And the only comfort that I have is that when I was saying to my friend yesterday who was smoking outside, I was like, if you smoke, my brother, a cigarette will kill you. And his response was, you're also gonna die. So and then I was like, even if they kill me for this show, everyone is also gonna die. So it's just a matter of time when I'll be departing this so that gave me comfort. And another thing that gives me comfort in a lot of work that I do is the fact that I see myself as a vessel of the story. I serve the story. So if there's a story that needs to be told, I tell the story. And I look at my life after, I look at whatever happens after. But as long as I tell the story and as long as I remain truthful and sensitive to the story, that's what kept me going. But the fear is still there, community.
Yes. Yeah, the fear is there, but as our director said, yeah, we all going to die anytime. We don't want to die, we want to die. With what is happening now in Zimbabwe, which I'm not going to disclose everything that I observed. There are people on TikTok, people are fighting there. And for me, as a South African, I don't take sides. But one thing I'm doing, I wish South Africans can understand the Zimbabweans where they are coming from. I wish that they can understand what happened even before they came here. When you kick them off South Africa, you need to understand what brought them here. So I know we are not going to agree on one thing, but that's why I'm like, if ever we died for telling this story, I mean, Obamasoro died, Okrisane died, like people died before. Why can't we continue? Because it seems like when I was doing the history, then I understood that like Zapu and Zebra and Umkhonto were one, and our mothers, our grandfathers, our parents were given a place to live in Zimbabwe. Okay, we understand that during Gukurahundi genocide they were chased away, but at least we need to understand that bond is still there. Need to embrace the material people, need to make their voice to be heard all around the world. Yes.
before I give to say, I want to elaborate on what Nicholas is saying that Ndebele is a Nguni. And in this case, we are all Nguni. So it's not a story that it's not even a story, it's not far from home. This is our fight, this is our struggle. In Zimbabwe, there's a Truth and Reconciliation Commission that is initiated now, of which is still people like Gukurahundi that were part of this genocide that are negotiating this Truth and Reconciliation Commission, of which is not making sense to us. But how can the perpetrators be the one that are initiating such a thing? So it's not far from home. We are all Nguni, so we are standing for the people of Ndebele.
Up there is, yes, the name.
Let's start there, and we go there, and we come to you, and you will close it.
Why are you doing this thing? Who cares about the Ndebele people in Zimbabwe? Why?
To answer your question, I will tell you how the proof in the production started. The production started in 2016. It was the Prince of Ndebele, Prince Manai, that came to us in Cape Town and we through us theatre makers. And he told us, he asked us, are you guys doing protest theatre? And we said yes. And that's when he initiated the project to the group in Cape Town, of which I was part of them. I was still in high school. Then when we started to perform this story, that's when we realized that to be part of the story, you are not only an actor but also an activist. So there are people that are activists at heart, and people that stand for other people's rights. So we are telling this story to fight for the rights of justice, sure. To stand with them. And also, we have the platform, we have the tool. We are theatre makers, we can stand on stage and perform and share a story that even some of the people that don't know. So our art that we practice is what is helping us to actually tell the story. So we are telling the story to liberate the people of Ndebele. Because the information that is there in the internet is not the truth. So we want the people of Ndebele to speak out also. And to talk about the community. I know it's hard because people from Zimbabwe, I hear in Africa, some in UK, are in UK. They're even too scared to go home. But we have the platform. They can't tell the story for themselves. Most of them they can't. So we can and we will.
So and also just to say, I'm here with my mother who suffered this period. So she was shedding tears when she was seeing things that she watched happening in Zimbabwe.
Comrade Pamela people of Mtwagazi, the organization Mtwagazi Public Party, the only organization in what we can call Zimbabwe today that is facing Zambia and so on. A quick question. So, what are the further intentions after the show that it was shown now? Because I believe this show currently is for the audience that are seated in there. But further, to take it out to the masses and communities of South Africa, what are the steps, or let me say, is there any further steps that we are willing to go further? As I stand right here now, my name, my surname, my registration number that I'm driving in South Africa is known in that country, and I still drive it in there, right? In and out. As I cross the border, the alarm will go there to say, okay, he is in. And then I follow wherever I go, believe me, I'm not lying. Right? So as I'm sitting here, when I'm looking around, there was a point whereby to say, how safe are you, right? The document, or let me say, the story that you are acting here, you are right on point. And the government of that country has actually sent people out here as we are here now, right? To see who is saying what and who is present. If I'm not mistaken, I've identified two of them. As the Republic Party is standing right here, and I always say it. They like it, they don't like it, they want, they don't want. All the people that we're expecting to have been buried and their bodies been ripped alive, we will go to fight for them. It is coming. I would like lastly to say the audience that is seated in here, if you listen very carefully, or let me say if you watch carefully, as they were demonstrating, it's something that happened between 1983 up to 1987. We are in 2024, right? As you are seated right here in 2024, if you will be still alive, in 2035, 2038, you will relate to what I've said today standing here. I'm not fearless, I'm not dangerous, I'm just a simple young boy. But we are taking the walk. And we're not looking very now, we are
I'd just like to ask, what are your, it's similar to his, but what are your prospects for scaling the show, and what mechanisms do you have to protect the originality of the narrative if you do so?
So we do have plans to take the play to other theaters, but also it's not just any other play. You know. So we are doing our research, but we know that it's hard for most people to actually come to CBD to watch shows, or Newtown to watch shows. So we've been doing our research to check where are the people from the Ndebele, and we know that they are back on the back on the Alex Theatre, and we've been speaking to Alex Theatre to arrange such. And also, we've checked the whole of which is in a good state. Then also, we do have plans to take it abroad. We do have plans to take it to UK because there are people that are from Thomas that are residing in UK. We are also planning to take it to Zimbabwe, but since we did get an invitation to come to Zimbabwe, but it's really scary, and it's a long process of involving the embassy and the government, so it's a long process, and yeah. Thank you.
So I was going to say a similar thing, but there's one thing I want to add on top of what he said. Earlier he spoke about us being the voice of the voiceless, and I spoke about us being the servants of the story. And what part of what we want to do is to challenge you. It's to challenge you guys. Some of you we invited especially to be here today because we want to challenge you. Take us to the spaces that you think the story needs to be had. Take us there. We will speak on your behalf. Take us to all the spaces that we are talking about. The plan is there, but we cannot go alone. We need your protection. We need everyone. We need all the people that we represent. But all we are saying at the end of the show, which is the reason why we are here today and the reason why we make it a once-off performance, we want you to take us to the other places. So the challenge is on you as much as it's on us. You are ready to tell the story, you can take us to Zimbabwe when we go.
Hello. My name is Talu. Yeah. So mine is rather not a comment, not a question. And I want to say to you guys, the actors on stage, including the director and the writer who's not here, want you to keep on telling the story. It's very sad that this story, there's people who don't know about Ndebele, of where they come from. And Tina as South Africans, we say, Ngamakudikwiri as Zimbabwe, whereas in Zimbabwe they are said to go back home in South Africa and they are stateless basically. So it's very sad that even in 2024 there's people who were live yesterday on TikTok, there's people who don't know this story. And to the audience also talk or ask about this story. Even Shona people, I've met Shona people, I've met victims of this story who came. There's people who don't even have IDs today because of this story, and they can't even go and talk about this. And it's a sad thing that I think it's only around 2018 when they allowed people in Zimbabwe to actually talk about this. Otherwise, people were not even allowed, Ndebele people were not even allowed to talk about this in groups and stuff like that. So guys, I know you've got threats, you've gotten bribes. Don't be greedy and take those bribes. I know I've heard from some of the actors that there's political parties who've given you money to say, do another play, leave this thing, it's old age and what. I want to say this thing to you guys, please, keep on telling the story. People need to know about this thing. There are people who are still living who suffered this. There are people who suffered this thing and are still telling stories. Try to get the stories of the people, you understand, and showcase those things, because I think everything we've seen on stage, I think not everything maybe, but most of the scenes where people might think that it's theatrical, but it's something that really happened and it's documented. So I want you guys, you are very young actors, I can see you've got bright futures, but please have that and keep on going. We appreciate this thing as young people also. Be the voice for the voiceless. Mina, thank you so much for such a production.
My name is Bobby, and I just wanted to say congratulations to the cast. It's such brave work.
Yeah.
I also work in theatre, and I also try to put history on stage. And I know how difficult it is to do that, because it's a balance between a history lesson and theatre. And you just did it so incredibly beautifully. And this is a genocide that is so untold and so unknown. So the weight of the story that you carry is quite incredible. I just had one question that in my historical memory, Zipra and Zandla were very powerful armies at a point in time in the 70s, when actually NK was much less so. And so I'm worried, my question is, I don't understand the very strong connection to NK at the beginning, because I think South Africa at that point was learning from Southern Africa, not the other way around. By that point, Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe had independence, remembering that South Africa was 14 years after Zimbabwe. So I was wondering about that connection with NK at the beginning. Afterwards it sort of fell away, but I understand the relationship between Zipra and NK. I do understand that history, but I felt perhaps that was a little bit too strong, because Zipra was very powerful in itself. And then also, just where was the point at which
well, we know that Mugabe came to power in 1980, so that was the point at which things went very wrong. But that would have been how they went wrong between the sort of north and the south would have been interesting to me as well. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's amazing, and I hope it goes far, and you are very, very brave.
If you have any question, can you please take it? Okay, we're going to take some stuff and we're going to share.
Do you know that Gukurahundi is still on? So she's 1 minute and we get it back. Which Naman is part of Gukurahundi. Ningesal. We get it back from Tabon. Naman is part of Gukurahundi. I mean, Zalala, Navinia is okay. Naman is part of Gukurahundi. You can be tell up to manipulate and get it back. Naman is a part of Gukurahundi.
Naman just deploy your message.
And xa nicinga ukuba ndizayithatha nise ebantwini isikakhulu abayi-experience leyo le nto nizawubahelisha njani xa nigqiba ngoba izawuvusa amanqeba. Kukhona mhlawumbi into ukubone kukhona into enicebileyo ukuba mhlawumbi kuzawuba khona iseshini yoba niphinde nihlale phantsi mhlawumbi batsho nabo baphalaze iimbilini zabo nibe nani nikhona. You understand? Because ndiphinde ndibuze apha kudirect uba kutheni utshuze olu hlobo lokuba ubalise eli bali. Mhlawumbi ngokukhethe enye into singaboni mhlawumbi ukutyuza abantwana singaboni kudlwengula nangona ndibona njengoba uzamile ukuyifihla uyabona but ndisenayo laa nto kuphinde kukho umntana othiwa sikholetha ngendlela ezahlukeneyo nam bendisandoluza umntana so ndiyabona nje uba ndivikelwa ngamanxeba andikwazi ukubukela. Nizawuthini ke ngoku xa ndifeyila uba ndibelelanga ndibelele
So let me first answer the second question where you asking this is a team campaign. So yes, this is a very touching story, and so what I've done in my personal capacity is to speak with a couple of friends. I have a couple of friends who are drama therapists, qualified drama therapists. So I've spoken to them when we take the show forward. I've spoken to them is that when we do the show and we have this kind of engagements and we have their reactions as a result of the show, they should be available and around in the space so that they are able to handle those things better. Because Tina will be doing a disservice to the people if we would try and comfort them and console them and all of those things. Because that's not really our specialty. Our specialty is to tell the stories. And then the reaction from the stories, then we bring them in to sort of cover and comfort and do what they do best. So there's that in place. Going to the first question, how the rehearsal process was for us, that's a very tricky question because I joined the show, believe it or not, 4 weeks back. And one of the week I was away at home, so I rehearsed the show for 2 weeks. So to even make it more significant, I've rehearsed the show, we had 9 rehearsals in total. As you know, 9 rehearsals, to even make it more significant, we were rehearsing for 3 hours a day. So if you count 9 times 3, that's 27 hours it took us to put this thing together. 27 hours. So what I'm trying to say by that is that we didn't have a lot of time to sort of choose different ways of doing it. But like you said, some of the things were very sensitive, even in the rehearsal space. There were rehearsals where we had to stop because people were catching feelings and emotions and all of those things. We had to stop and restart again and refresh. So it was a stop and start thing that we were doing. So that's why some of the things we tried hard, some of them we thought as much as we want to have and we don't want to send an amount that are there, we also want to make sure we remain true to the story. We want to make sure we tell the story as sensitive as it is and respectful for what the story is. So it has been difficult, but we tried.
To echo on what they're saying, us or me as an actor, I was approached like last semester, like, yeah. Yes, I was approached like last semester to be in the play, and I was playing one of the soldiers. Yeah, it's difficult, but with us understanding what protest theater is, and to answer that question, that what we want to do is that we want to provoke things. As much as this is not a resistant theater for us to take a stand and do things in actual and helping people, but to provoke this emotion from you, so that even those who didn't understand your situation will start to understand your background and where you come from. So they will start to think maybe differently, because some people are more like stones, so they don't want to change what they believe in. So, but with us telling the story, yeah, it was difficult, I won't lie, but it's a protest theater, we have to provoke. Like, I also asked some questions on some of the lines. Are these not going to make people laugh or lie or hate me? But no problem, I don't care, because we are provoking this thing. And I understand with the victims, people who felt this thing when it was happening. And I don't know how they can be helped, but with our Dr. Klubi, then I believe, since they mentioned things, if they mentioned there are, at least maybe if some situations get worse, then maybe they can help and assist on that. Yes.
Yes. Can you have Kuti, then you have Mama, then you have Ku?
I think mine is going to be a question. I come as someone who have witnessed the show in 2016. I came out, and the first thing that happened, it was very powerful, and things right now with the different class. And I asked myself immediately when I watched it and how beautiful it was, I asked myself that I wonder how would the show look like when it is pregnant and people are coming from Zimbabwe. Yes, that was the first question.
Otherwise, I
But also I knew